Hello, good evening. Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
Howdy.
Howdy. How's it going?
I'm finally back at Milk HQ.
Milk HQ. Very good. I love that for you. How long are you home for?
3 weeks.
Oh, that's actually pretty nice, right?
Yeah, it is pretty nice. It was
Oh,
gonna
good.
be longer, but then I
Okay.
accepted the job last minute, so I did that to myself.
Yeah. But
But
still, 3 weeks at home. That's nice.
yep. And
Very good.
Yeah.
yes, doing all the summer things.
Very good. Um,
Nice.
how are you, existential gamer?
Good. Yeah. It's hot as hell, but other
Mm-hmm.
than that, it's been good.
Yes. Hot
Ooh.
as.
So,
Is it
so
hot where you are, expired milk?
yeah, so whenever it's the summer and I get these little times at home, I'm like, ooh, I'm gonna exercise and it's gonna be great. But I woke up to like a heat warning on my phone, and then I said, okay,
Yeah.
well,
Mm.
I'll wait till the evening. And then the evening rolls around, and I'm watching my TV westerns, and the program gets interrupted to do like a 10-minute long tornado warning. I said, tornado? What? And then the sky opens up.
Can't
So
win.
yeah.
Yeah. The universe is telling you to stay inside.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
and that's
In
exactly
bed.
what I did. I did some jumping jacks though. Look, I made progress.
Very good. Very good. Hi everybody in the chat. Hello, good evening, welcome. Hope everyone's good. So yeah, I put a poll up on my channel for what we should talk about tonight, and then, as I am wont to do, I completely disregarded the poll and chose my own topic anyway.
Supreme leader
Oh.
kind of rambling.
So, whoops. But yeah, we're gonna talk about what's going on with mega women this evening.
Yes.
So I had seen this article headline, but it was behind a paywall, so
Yeah.
I'm eager to see what's going on.
Oh my god. Vodka Lucky. Hello, good evening from 2
Wow.
a.m. Go to bed. You can watch this
Yeah.
later.
The
But
2
thanks
Europeans,
for
like,
being here.
a.m. in
it's
the
the night.
club. R unce unce unce.
Yeah, right? Oh, too funny. Alrighty, let's go here. So I'll just adjust things so I can see what I'm looking at. Make sure I can see everything fine. Okay. So less burnout, more babies.
You know what cures
God.
burnout? Newborns.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no
right?
kidding. No
I
kidding.
mean, it's not really like you're not really well rested and stuff when you have a baby. But okay, let's see
No,
what
Yeah,
they
couldn't be.
newborns will only like perish if they roll over and sleep on their face.
Mm,
yeah, just imminent death and no sleep. But let's see what wonderful arguments they have for
right?
coercing people into having babies. Okay.
Be
Yeah, it is.
re-energized.
It is
Mhm.
interesting to me that there's been this, yeah, wellness influencer to MAGA right wing pipeline, which is just interesting. So yeah,
I've
Yeah, I
seen
wonder
that
what?
connection too.
is that like the
Yeah,
people that make like smoothies out of leaves and
yeah, like the crunchy, earthy beef tallow.
Yeah, and I think that's really sucks because like that's kind of what I do. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm not one of those people, you
Yeah,
know. I yeah, I use beef tallow,
yeah,
but
for sure. It's a fine product, but it's just so
Mhm.
interesting how, yeah, this wellness influencer trend has, yeah, transitioned into right wing.
Yeah,
hmm,
I have to be careful like who I listen to online if I'm gonna look up anything to do with like my particular
Mm,
diet or whatnot because some of these people,
yeah.
why is it political? I don't get it. I don't get what it. I wish there was a study like why certain online movements are associated with certain political bents, but kind
well,
of
I
like
guess.
how. Oh, sorry.
Oh no, I interrupted you.
Oh no, it's fine. Like kind of like how vegans are associated with like leftist, but really it has nothing to do with being a leftist or whatever. So I don't. I mean, I guess you could say that leftists are more involved with animal rights and stuff like that. But it's the diet itself, like how you eat, doesn't really have anything to do with like your ideology, I guess.
Yeah, it's weird how that works out. Well, when I was looking at wellness influencer, at least on the women's side here, it reminded me like, isn't there a connection between YouTuber gym bros and super right wing? Oh no, Radical died.
Yeah, her computer just restarted itself per
Oh
her chat, so she'll be back. She's like,
well,
OMG.
now we're running the ship.
Yeah. Oh no, she's trying to restart. I hope it, maybe it has to update.
Skynet has become self-aware.
It doesn't want us talking about this.
Alas.
We're going to talk about it anyway. Can't
But
silence
yeah,
us.
the gym bros, aren't they part of the whole like
Yeah.
alpha male, something something macho
Yeah,
versus
but the wanting to work out or improve your health or whatever shouldn't have anything to do with your political ideology. Like I don't get that either. Like just like with the diet, like you can have any diet you want that you've determined is good for your health, or you can go to the gym if you want or not or whatever. It doesn't say anything about what you believe.
indeed.
That
Hi.
hi,
Hey,
did your computer update?
I literally, I don't know. Like, I didn't touch anything on my computer. It just rebooted itself.
your
Are you
computer's been infiltrated by the CIA
yeah,
Honestly,
or
that was,
malware?
or malware. Yes.
Are you sure you
I
don't
hope
have any malware?
I'm pretty sure.
Hmm.
That was so weird. Yes.
Oh, you know
Sorry. Let
what?
me.
Is it hot in your house right now?
No, because I have air conditioning.
Okay, I was gonna say when I had my old laptop, sometimes it would do the same thing
Yeah,
because it overheated. But
that was so weird.
that is weird.
It's like we do not want you to talk about MAGA women.
Too bad. We're gonna do it.
Yeah, okay, let me try that again. That was so strange.
Yeah,
But
Gabrielle, I've met gym bros from all over the spectrum. I think the ones that are prominent online, though, are a lot of them are really pushing the right wing, but also the same thing with like the naturopath and like the natural family planning and like the keto and carnivore stuff. Like, I don't know why it's being right wing co opted, but it is. It doesn't make sense to me.
hmm. Okay.
I mean,
Did I
shit,
miss
I've met a lot of hippie gym bros too. Like, they
Yeah,
smoke
totally.
pot just as much as they lift weights, you know?
All right. Now where is the chat? Okay. I'm good again, I think. I hope. Knock on wood. Let's
Yes.
try that again.
Let us proceed carefully.
Indeed. Okay. So, oh boy. Okay, so I'll tell you this, ladies, said Dana Loesch, former spokeswoman of the National Rifle
Oh,
Association.
we're just going right in. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Already a good sign right there.
As she paced the stage of a Dallas ballroom. You cannot have it all at the same time. Something will suffer.
Okay, this rhetoric drives me insane because the
Yeah.
reason women can't have it all is because the fathers don't step up. That's why.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It has nothing to
You know
do
what?
with her having it all.
I didn't prepare myself very.
Oh,
Y'all.
shit.
You good?
Are you okay?
Yes, I was. Oh my god, I was trying to reach for my bag that has my water bottle in it, and it also had my like coffee thermos. And oh god, this is going great for me today. Ah,
Yeah,
anyway,
I heard a big crash on my end, so I'm just glad you're all right.
yeah,
I was like,
that
ah.
was my coffee thermos hitting my tile floor.
Well, who knows? Maybe this Dana lady will have some great advice for you.
Yeah.
Maybe less
Poor lady.
burnout, more
Yes.
babies.
She'll learn us all.
So the audience of roughly 3,000 young women listened, rapt. They wore pins that read, "Dump your socialist boyfriend," and "My favorite season is the fall of feminism."
Hmm.
No.
Mm.
That's special
In
right there.
ruffled sundresses and cowboy boots, they shimmied to the church clap. When Miss Loesch stepped off the stage, and out came Trump world rock stars Charlie and Erica Kirk. The young women came up to the microphone one by one to ask for advice on finding a husband, on raising Christian children, on what to tell friends who judged them for wanting to marry young. I must have missed it in Matthew, which is "Go forth and become CEO of a shoe company," Mr. Kirk told the audience, voice inlaid with an eye roll.
Yeah, see, this is it. It's already presenting a false dichotomy. Like you don't
Uh-huh.
either have to be a Bible thumping trad wife or go full tilt into capitalism and climb the corporate ladder. You don't have to do
Right.
either of
Yeah.
those things.
I
Like,
also
and
wonder
then
what church clap is.
yeah, what is church class? Is it like a square dance? Like, what
I'm
is that?
sure. What is the church clap?
Yeah, let's look that up because I'm very curious. And I want to say I'm not gonna go to bat for like socialist, like leftist feminist guys, but if you'd like a guy that helps change the diapers of his own kid and doesn't refer to it as babysitting, you might not want to go for like the diehard Trumper guy. I'm just saying.
Oh,
Or oh
it's
no,
a
is it
song by American Christian hip hop singer KB.
Of
Christian hip
course.
hop.
oh Christian hip hop? I'm sure that's very cool.
Hmm. God. So, it was the largest young conservative women's event in the country, hosted by Turning Point USA, the organization Mr. Kirk leads that claimed a critical role in turning out young voters for President Trump. Most attendees had come to the Young Women's Leadership Summit not so much for advice on how to lead, of course not,
Heaven forbid.
but how to live.
Mm.
Because, sure, the personal is political, but it's also practical, palatable. They got clear marching orders: less Prozac, more protein, said Alex Clark, a wellness influencer and podcast host who headlined the weekend. Less burnout, more babies. Less feminism, more femininity.
I
Ah!
I really these girls are so fucked in like 10 to 20 years. So fucked. Have you seen the TikToks of the older trad wives that blew up like a little bit ago? And they'd share their
No.
stories about being left
Ooh, no.
in destitution, like sometimes for younger women, sometimes just left, and they have like zero employment history. And yeah, it was like a minor trend on. I saw some YouTube compilations of them, but
Oh,
it's
wow.
sad. It's like,
Yeah.
but then anytime an older woman tries to talk to younger women, they
Mm.
get fed the lie that they're just jealous old hags. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so I'm just like, man, you are just setting yourself up to be like sheep for the slaughter.
Mm. Okay, so the conference was part sorority house. Saturday night was girls' night in, part church, and part suburban Tupperware party with a heavy dose of "Unleash the Power Within."
What power.
Many attendees were raised in conservative homes. Others represented a new political constituency. Molded politically by Mr. Trump's rise and rocked emotionally by the pandemic, they began listening to wellness influencers like Miss Clark, whose voices became a gateway to the conservative political movement.
Again, just bizarre.
Hmm. So that's Alex Clark, second from the left here.
Hmm.
I wonder what MAHA stands for.
Oh, it's Make America Healthy Again. You're welcome.
Uh,
Yeah.
Look at some of this merch. Keep
Keep
America
America country.
mega country. What does the little subtext say? Can we see?
Hmm.
Make America Great Again. Okay.
Featuring
Have,
Fiji water.
yeah, Fiji.
Okay.
Whoops. Zaylin? Raylan, sorry. Raylan.
Jalen.
What is
No,
that spelling?
I think it's Raylan.
It's Raylan, but like,
Oh,
okay. Raylan Zito is one such conservative convert. Miss Zito is a 25-year-old nurse who lives in Raleigh, North Carolina. In 2023, she said she had a real belly flop of a year. She went through a breakup, lost a family member, and was searching for purpose outside of work. Miss Zito began listening to Miss Clark, whose Turning Point USA show is often ranked among the top 10 of health podcasts on Spotify. Listening to Miss Clark, Miss Zito said changed her life. She started a Bible study group, cut down her drinking, and stopped dating casually as she focused on finding a husband. Uh,
okay. Oh, so maybe that's because we were trying to think about, oh, what's this connection between wellness and conservative stuff?
mhm.
Is this all just a backlash specifically to like the early 2010s party hookup
Yeah,
situation?
Mm?
I think it's that, and it's also a rebellion against like the capitalists. Like, I mean, this is one of my soapboxes, right? Like, I don't like the medical industrial complex in this country, the for profit, the push for drugs. Like, I don't like how our food is all junk
Mhm.
food and crap. And but like, I think the connection too is the religion though. Like,
Yeah.
I can listen to a wellness podcast about the keto diet and I'm literally never ever going to like go right
Vote for
wing.
Trump.
No, fuck that. No. So it's like that thread of religion though. Well, if you're
Mm.
already like a believer or you're, kind of
Right.
a lapsed Christian and then you're like, "Oh, I need to go to Bible study and I need to find a husband."
Right. If you're already like tethering yourself to a belief in something,
Yeah.
I can see where you might be vulnerable to this, then yeah.
Yeah, and I do think there's definitely a disillusionment and backlash with capital. I mean, everybody knows the cost of living is super high, right?
Yep.
And the American dream is a lie, and
Yep.
wages have stagnated. So they're like whispering in these girls, and I say girl because like I'm middle aged and these girls
Mhm.
are so young, right?
A
Like,
23-year-old is,
right. Like,
they
in
don't
to
know anything
me,
about life.
right. From my perspective, like pretty much anyone under the age of 24, 25 is like a girl to me. So
Expired milk, how old are you? You're pretty
she's
young,
she's in
right?
her 30s.
Oh, you're
Yeah,
30s now?
I'm
Yeah.
31.
Oh, okay, never mind. I thought you
Yeah.
were younger for some reason.
Oh,
Okay.
I'm young at
It's
heart.
the youthful exuberism.
Ooh,
Yes,
Exuberance.
yeah.
my birthday is next week, and I
Ooh.
will
Ooh,
officially now be in my late 30s.
Yeah.
you are wise.
I'm trying, man.
Yes.
Trying.
It's like my birthday just happened and I'm officially pushing 50. So yeah.
Yes, I think
Vodka
I'm categorized
Latke.
as the. Okay,
No, go ahead.
I think I'm categorized as young millennial or early Gen Z. I'm not sure.
No, you're still a millennial. 96 was the cutoff.
Ah, okay.
Mm.
I'm a young millennial.
Hmm. Yeah, Vodka Latke said definitely it's a backlash against millennial sex positivity. Amber Rose used to do those slut walk events, and now she's a massive Trump supporter.
Yeah, almost like
Wow.
reclaiming your sexuality in the framework of making yourself an object for male consumption is not the way to go.
Oh, great point. No, but also they're in the same vein, they're also reclaiming their sexuality, but now just for one man, right? They're reclaiming like
Yeah.
their feminine energy,
Well,
divine goddess, whatever.
didn't I have not read Right Wing Women, but I have heard people talk about the book. Didn't Dworkin say something like a lot of these women throw their chip in with the right because they'd rather be owned by one man
Hmm.
than like many. You know what I mean? Like, it feels like
Yes.
you're minimizing the risk just being
Hmm.
the wife to one man rather than feeling like you're up for grabs amongst the public.
Yes, great point. I see. Yeah, it's the opposite. It's two ends of the same spectrum.
Oh yeah. Like
Mm.
there's a whole third option that these women aren't even considering,
Mhm.
which is what we consider here
Yes.
on this podcast.
Mhm.
And it just goes. Oh, I was in college, 2012 to 2016, so that was kind of the very big party, drinking, hookup,
Yep.
all that sort of thing. And I don't really lecture people about it. I just didn't participate. And people would say, "Oh, are you conservative? Are you religious? Are you all this stuff?" And I said, "No, I just think it's a bad idea."
You do kind of have the energy of a youth pastor without being religious.
Yeah.
Oh, kinda,
All the
yeah.
You
nuns love
kind of
me.
do.
Yes, the nuns love me and my polo shirt.
That's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lamb, we were just kinda talking about that in different wording, but same thing. To the left, women are public property,
Mm,
and to the right, they're private. Same thing,
yeah.
yep.
You're not actually that late, Lamb.
No, not at all, we barely started.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, Miss Zito changed her life by listening to Miss Clark's podcast. She's focusing on finding a husband. She stopped using birth control, taking up a natural family planning method recommended on Miss Clark's show, and became dubious about abortions and vaccines. She no longer identifies as a feminist.
Hmm.
Um,
So she's trying to get pregnant.
but she hasn't found the husband yet, so maybe like why
So
does she even need natural family
she
planning? Because shouldn't
doesn't.
she not be having sex outside of marriage?
Right. That stood out to me. I'm like, why would you
Mhm.
even bother like measuring your cervical fluid or whatever they do? And
Right.
like without, if you're not,
Without the
you
husband.
just don't take birth control. Like it's fine. You're
Yeah.
celibate for now, right?
Interesting.
Hmm.
So, what dipped my toe into all of this was the MAHA movement, Miss Cito said, referring to the Make America Healthy Again agenda championed by influencers like Miss Clark and now led in the Trump administration by Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. I find myself leaning more conservative than I ever have before. After the 2024 election, when young men swung markedly to Mr. Trump, pundits and political operatives began a frenzied and almost anthropological analysis of the manosphere, the ecosystem of podcasters like Joe Rogan and Theo Vaughn who nudged young men toward the Republican vote. Less in focus were the young women, a demographic that is still reliably left leaning, but whose support for Mr. Trump also increased, according to post election polling. Some were also swayed by what has been labeled a womanosphere of uber popular podcasters blending lifestyle advice and political polemics.
Hmm.
Many of the young women at the Turning Point conference were drawn to the event because conservative women influencers had helped them remake their lives, start dating seriously, and stop eating ultra processed foods. That sounds fine and normal to me.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. Like, I, I'm not gonna get on my soapbox here, but like, if you have problems with like insulin and sugar and all that stuff, like,
Yeah.
stop doing that. Doesn't mean you have to become a Trumper. Like, what is
Right?
wrong with you?
Yeah. Start taking supplements and stop using birth control. But birth control also is used for more than just preventing pregnancy.
It
Like
is,
it's used to manage cramping, it's used to manage other symptoms of periods, it's used
yeah.
for all kinds
And
of different
there's
things.
also feminist like discourse about the birth control pill and
Mhm.
how it's not always the safest option for women.
Yep.
It's not like we just blindly like no, pump your body full of drugs and don't question it. Like
Mhm.
no.
Yeah. Very silly.
Yeah.
Whoops. Okay. The Young Women's Leadership Summit, which marked its 10th anniversary, drew its largest numbers yet this year, roughly 3,000 women, up from 2,000 last year and under 500 in 2015 at its inception. Over 10 years, though, that's not really
That's not
that
that
big of
big. come,
growth.
come on.
The event, some attendees noted, was light on discussions about policy, immigration raids, trade wars, but heavy on dating, parenting, and nutrition advice. So it's
all
like
the
it's
feminine things.
yeah, it's trying to guide women into
Being
being
owned by a
submissive
man.
wives. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing, I just don't know how a lot of these women can't see that part of it. Like, you could agree with everything there, but
Mhm.
underpinning all of this is the notion that women are not quite as human as men, and they don't deserve to have control over their own lives. They can't lead, they shouldn't have jobs, they should just shut up and do what they're told. And it's like, what human being can live like that? Like that, you're describing a slave basically with
Yeah.
no mind. And they look at this and they is is the draw of all the health stuff or the Bible, is that like clouding that particular little malignant nugget, like just nestled within this whole ideology?
Mhm.
Well, maybe, since they are skewing younger and, things have been chaotic in the world recently, they could just be gravitating towards, I just need an answer for how I'm going to have my happy ending. And if I follow all these rules, then I'm going to have my cozy house and be
Mhm.
super loved and have no problems, unlike those other women out there who are in the street and
Yeah,
uh,
like
whatever.
there's like a mentality that they're going to be the exception.
Mhm.
Nothing's like, you know what? The whole world could be fucking burning down, and I would not adopt this idea. I don't care. We could be in a
Yeah.
post-apocalyptic society, and I would not like swallow this because it means giving up your humanity, really.
Yeah, it's almost like the inverse of like the nice guy incel who thinks like being nice gets him sex tokens.
Mm,
It's almost like the inverse where like if you follow all of the trad wife rules, you'll get the princess life or whatever.
yeah, and you might for a little bit if you get
Mhm.
lucky, but again, the old TradWives came on a little bit ago. Search it up on YouTube. There's compilations and stuff about them telling their story of just being left in the dirt. They've got no recourse, nothing. They're,
Yeah.
you know, so you're really gonna take that bargain? I wouldn't.
Yeah. And I also
Ugh.
wonder if any of this is being influenced by, I'm not sure if it's still happening, but I know at least during the plague, there was a general movement of younger people away from cities rather than towards cities. So they
Mhm.
either go back to their hometowns in the
Right.
Midwest, or just pick a place that was also just generally cheap and do that. So
Mhm.
maybe that's playing into their whole, this
Yeah.
is the aesthetic I'm gonna go for because this is how things work around here. I don't know.
Hmm.
You know, that's an interesting point, though, Salad Caesar. I've heard that before. I've heard that a lot of this tradwife stuff is like kinky, weird shit, like buried in this sort of thing. But then again, why do these women have these kinks? You know, it's something worth examining because they've been basically raised since birth, a lot of times, especially in religious households, to like want to submit and give themselves to men and be ruled by men and like to find it sexy for some reason. I don't know.
So weird.
Yeah.
All right, so Miss Clark, who helped organize the confab, offered her theory of the case of many women flocking to her fold. Based on Maha, they're getting red pilled, and now they're showing up at the largest conservative women's event in the country. All good?
Did you say something, expired milk?
Oh no, my computer glitched for a second.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. Because it
No
sounded
worries.
like kind of like muffled speech, so I didn't know if we missed something you
Oh,
said.
no.
Oh, why is my Wi-Fi sucking?
Uh-oh.
Okay. Um, I keep hearing them want to blame Joe Rogan, and I just think that it's so short-sighted. The problem was that they didn't give Maha the time of day. What women are finding in Maha platforms like Miss Clark's isn't just a vision of healthy kitchen, but a new life, which Miss Clark summed up on stage to thunderous applause. We're done pretending that a cubicle is more empowering than a countertop, she told the crowd.
It's so
What?
frustrating. because you know I don't mind some of the initiatives in so-called Maha.
No, of
It's like
course not.
it's getting like shitty ingredients out of food, using like natural food from
Yeah,
the
nothing
ground, and
wrong with
like
that.
farm raised meat if you eat it, like it real fats, not like hydrogenated vegetable oil shit or
Hmm.
whatever. That's all it is. And like they attach all this stuff to it.
Right, like
Like,
that stuff shouldn't be political in any way.
yeah, that's what I mean. Like, why does it have to also include me giving up my personhood just because I want to eat grass-fed beef and like use beef tallow? Like, what the hell?
It's so weird.
It's like,
Yeah.
well, why can't you prepare your healthy meal on your countertop before going to your work?
Or
In
yeah, or after coming home from work.
That's so weird.
you can
And
bond with
also,
all the other ladies in the break room about your food. I don't know.
mhm. But also, like, yes, in capitalism, like, it sucks that we're all wage slaves. But the irony a little bit is that a cubicle, when you want to talk about the word empowering, a cubicle is probably a little bit more empowering than a countertop because you are actually earning money, which
Yes.
provides some level of independence, and ability to move through the world rather than being stuck at home
Yeah. At
cooking
the
and cleaning.
mercy of some
Yeah.
man who could
Who
decide one
ironically is
day,
in a cubicle.
yeah,
Yeah.
he's in a cubicle, but like this is just like what men have done for centuries. Like,
Mhm.
oh, you don't want to work this job. It's so hard. You just stay home, you know? And meanwhile, they're amassing all the money and the power and the total independence to do whatever they want with their lives with impunity. They treat their wives and families any way they want because they've got literally all the decision making power.
Mhm. Yeah, Solid Caesar pointed out the funny part is no one is stopping them, yet they act like everyone stops them.
That's like the typical Christian persecution
Persecution
complex.
complex. Yep.
Yeah. They say that about their like Christianity too, and like nobody stops anyone from being Christian.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep. So this political revolution, in other words, isn't just starting at home, but staying at home.
It's so extreme. Like, why does it have to be one, like a black choice versus a white choice, like a
Right.
zero or a million? Like, why?
Uh-huh. So ridiculous. People say, Charlie, what does success look like for the political MAGA movement? Mr. Kirk said. His answer to this crowd, at least, success for MAGA would be if moms stayed at home. On
Well,
Saturday, to raucous applause, he declared, we should bring back the celebration of the Mrs. degree.
Okay,
Oh
but here's the thing, like strictly from a pragmatic point of view,
my
not
God.
even a feminist point of view, how are you going to do that in today's climate where you need two incomes?
Yeah, but also what I have to interject and say is these people who are of this particular Christian variety do believe that if you are the right kind of Christian, that that will lead to wealth and
Oh
prosperity.
yeah, the prosperity gospel.
Yeah,
mhm.
so
I
like,
knew I knew a Christian like that once who actually argued with me that if somebody had misfortune in their lives, like they got cancer, that it was
mhm,
because they weren't right with Jesus.
mhm. So like when we talk about like in this economy, to them they don't even consider that because like they're the right kind of Christian and they're wealthy and they can afford these lifestyles.
Right.
It's almost oh, you know what? It's almost like a pyramid scheme, like a multi-level marketing. Like if I
Yeah.
can do it,
Yeah.
you can do it.
Yeah, it's you know what? It reminds me of how was it Ballerina Farms with like the tens of thousands of dollars stove,
Yes.
and her husband is a billionaire, and like the ones at the top can afford to do it because they're already wealthy. They come from
Right.
wealth. And
Right.
they're trying to trick like Tammy in Kentucky who worked at Walmart to like be a TradWife while
Mhm.
her husband also works at Walmart and brings home minimum wage. How are they going to do that? They can't.
Gotta get right with God.
But see how well that works for them.
Yeah, exactly.
And they want to slash social programs. They don't want any
Mhm.
of that stuff.
Which again, like that's not what Jesus would stand for. Like,
No.
ugh.
Yeah, starving poor families and like making children disenfranchised. No,
Hmm.
no.
How many of you every single day is your purpose for being finding a husband?
You need to get some hobbies.
Mr. Kirk sat on stage with his wife Friday night and drove home the weekend's message. He looked out over the room where, to his dismay, not everybody was raising their hands. Every hand should then go up, he said.
Ew.
Oh,
His wife, Erica Kirk, a former Miss Arizona winner, half softened the message. For the women who are getting married after 30, that's okay, she said, quickly adding, it's not ideal. It's not probably the best statistical position for you, but God is good. If you just want happy talk, that's fine, said Mr. Kirk. The crowd tittered nervously. That's
what?
Charlie Kirk.
It's weird.
Yeah,
He
extremely
looks
weird.
exactly how I thought he'd look.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's Erica Kirk.
Hmm.
They all look like that, don't they?
They
Yeah.
do. They have that look. Hmm.
The floral dress, blonde hair, fake eyelashes.
Hey. Sometimes they're brunette. Come on.
It's
But they all have that same long, like
yeah,
curly hair.
curly floral
Yeah.
dress, flowy,
The,
feminine.
the
Ugh.
same makeup style. Like,
Mhm.
yeah.
One after another, members of the audience came forward to ask Mr. Kirk and his wife for advice. I like how this is a woman's summit and it's all about Mr. Kirk and his wife instead of Mrs. Kirk and her
Yeah. And
husband.
he's sitting up there, like, dictating to an audience full of women what they should do with their lives, even though
Yeah.
he knows nothing about them. Oh, it's okay if you're over 30. Like, oh, you shouldn't feel bad for how many years you've lived your life.
Mm.
If you're over 30, you're still salvageable, maybe.
Yeah, like fucking Charlie, your wife is going to be over 30 one day.
I think they're both well over 30, if I'm not mistaken.
I have no idea. Erica Kirk.
I think Charlie Kirk is for sure. And then
Yeah, I have no idea. I can't see anything about her age online, but yeah, like your wife is going to be old one day too, Charlie. Like Jesus Christ.
but he snagged her young, so it's fine.
Mhm. So, one after another, members of the audience came forward to ask Mr. Kirk and his wife for advice. No questions on politics, he told them, only relationships, faith, and parenting. Hmm.
Yeah, only the softballs, okay? Come on.
I don't want to go to college and I don't want to commit to a career that I know I'm going to abandon once I have kids, one young woman said, to which Mr. Kirk replied, you're already thinking correctly. Mrs. Kirk asked if anybody in the room had a liberal boyfriend. A hand near the front shot up. Pray for her, an audience member yelled.
Ugh.
Though the speaker lineup was a string of high powered women, State Senator Angela Paxton of Texas, House Rep Nancy Mace of South Carolina, the weekend was peppered with derisive comments about sad, lonely boss babes. Like, these are women with high power jobs.
I know.
Yeah.
The hypocrisy is
Yeah.
stunning.
There was a burn book in the style of Mean Girls placed on a Turning Point recruitment table with photos of Democratic politicians and captions like "Make AOC bartend again."
But that's a job though. Like, do you want women to have jobs or not?
Right. They're
What?
so stupid.
As long as it's like a degrading low like status job, in your opinion, it's okay. What?
Yeah. For many of the attendees, feminism was either cringe or a purely dirty word. Others talked about the waves of feminism, grateful for the right to vote, but feeling that later waves went overboard with man hating, as Catalina Bus, a college student from Arkansas, put it. I mean, I think we could all deal with a little more man hating, but
Yeah.
that's just me.
I mean, yeah, especially
Oh my
considering
God.
what they do, like as a class.
Yeah. And also, like, again, what man hating? There is no level of
There is
anything
none.
that we could do that would be like even close to the equivalent of the way that men hate women. Like,
No.
it's not man hating to want a job or a bank account. Like,
Right.
fucking hell.
Yeah, because they're so fragile that is literally a threat to their
Yeah.
masculinity. So, yeah, and some lady on Twitter saying the same thing. does not mean that man hating or misandry exists in the world.
Mhm. In more than 2 dozen interviews with attendees, young women said it was a relief to hear a message that they had privately embraced but felt uncomfortable sharing widely, that it was feminism and career ambition making them unhappy, not the broader stress of puzzle piecing together the responsibilities of modern life. It's all feminism's fault. I'm the product of the generation that said, oh, the future is female. Go after your career. Family can wait, said Callie Shaw, 26, an accountant who traveled to the conference from South Carolina and was part of her college Turning Point chapter. Women like me are realizing climbing this corporate ladder doesn't fulfill you. They realize, oh my gosh, I've been taking birth control. Now I want to start a family, but I've put it off.
Again, it it's
26.
because men are not stepping up and being fathers in the family and like
Mm-hmm.
carrying the load. Men have no problem having a job and a family.
Mm-hmm.
You never say to a man like, "Oh, you think you can have it all?" Men have it all every day because their wife
Mm-hmm.
literally runs their whole life for them on top of having a job and raising the children.
Yep.
It's not feminism's fault. It's
No.
because capitalism sucks on obviously, but it's because of capitalism and that men basically are like, oh, you guys want to be empowered? Okay, well, here, have the second shift. You come home from work and you still have to do all the housewife duties
Mm-hmm.
too. When did we do that? Like, when did feminists do that?
Right. Ugh. I want to homestead with my kids, said her sister, Josie Blanchard, 21. I would have animals, a farm, a garden. Maybe we can have a joint one, said Miss Shaw. Miss Clark, whose fans waited patiently for selfies at her meet and greet, insisted she would also readily trade away her work.
Oh, would she really? Eh,
I
I don't
know.
think so.
And her fucking big podcast dollars. Like, are you kidding me?
No, it's all just lip service.
Yep.
Oh, I'd totally do it.
Yeah. I would have been married at 19 if I would have met the right person, Miss Clark said. If somebody said, okay, here's your choice. You can keep all this or you can have marriage and kids, I would say, I'm picking marriage and kids. Bye. Okay, so go do it.
Yeah,
Stop your
no one's stopping
podcast.
you.
Stop your podcast and go to church and find a nice husband.
Right, but also notice how she's tacitly basically saying men suck because she couldn't find somebody. That's interesting, isn't it?
Yep.
Couldn't find somebody willing to like step up and like be a partner and work towards a life together. Like, oh, maybe because like guys suck.
Yep. Wait. Whoops.
I know, Ice Goddess. It's so annoying because it's like you have to coddle for every step of the way.
Mm-hmm. I hate the caveat so many women here do. I don't hate men. Like,
It's like, well, stop
stop.
already. Like Radical just said, like having your own bank account is not an insult toward a man. Like, just calm down. Jesus.
Mhm. Yep. But convening thousands of women for a leadership summit, headlined by speakers telling them to forget about ambition, did leave some of the attendees bewildered. Some noted that the Trump administration is filled with women they see as role models, like White
Interesting.
House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt, recently photographed cradling her baby at her desk, and Mr. Trump's chief of staff, Susie Wiles, the first woman to hold the role.
Hmm?
On Saturday afternoon, during another question and answer session with Mr. Kirk and Mrs. Kirk, a high school student, Nicole Hader, came to the microphone at the front of the room and voiced her confusion. It's the Young Women's Leadership Summit, and all the women that spoke on that stage yesterday were there because they pursued a career,
Yes.
said Miss Hader.
Finally, someone says
16.
it.
16. She has
Yes.
more brains than anybody else.
Mhm.
Way to go, kid.
A key takeaway that I took from most of the speeches, especially Friday, was that I should, quote, get married and have babies. Interesting, said Mr. Kirk. I wouldn't say all of them are there because they pursued a career. Mr. Kirk seemed
Hmm.
uncharacteristically ruffled. I could flip it on you, he added. The people that pursued careers are telling you to pursue kids. Maybe they know something you don't know.
I love how the first instinct of this grown man is to get flustered at some 16-year-old
16-year
girl
old girl.
and like basically turn around and Darvo her.
Mhm.
Mhm.
But don't you think that they had children and got married to their wonderful husbands because of their career? Miss Hayter asked, gazing up at the stage. You know who the most miserable and depressed people in America are? Mr. Kirk said. Career driven, early 30 something women.
Are
Oh,
they
oh my
though?
gosh, it's me. It's me.
You are you miserable?
No, I'm great. Everything's good.
The crowd roared with applause, but Miss Hayter, who thinks she might want to one day run for office, noted that when she sat down, a few girls seated nearby whispered that they had been wondering about the same question. Maybe there's some hope for these young gals.
Yes.
Right
Yeah.
before she flew to Dallas, Miss Zito realized it was time to tell her close friends and family that she identified as conservative. She's coming out of the closet, y'all.
Oh no.
After all,
How
they might
brave.
see her post photos from the Turning Point conference on Instagram. Miss Zito braced herself and called her grandmother, a liberal Methodist pastor in New Jersey. I'm moderately conservative. She said her grandmother didn't make a fuss, mostly wanting her to be happy.
Yeah, let's
And the persecution
yes.
complex.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's raging.
Mhm. Miss Zito still encounters political issues that prompt her to lean left. She finds some of the White House's messaging about ICE raids to be unchristian. She believes in access to abortion under some circumstances. Mm. She wants a
Interesting.
career, but she finds the maha of it all compelling. It's just like Alex Clark always says, she explained. We will not have political fights in 100 years if we're all sick and don't have babies.
I
But
mean,
you
yeah,
don't have to be right wing to be
no,
healthy.
you don't. That's so frustrating.
So weird.
You also don't have to have babies. You can fix your health if you want, go down a rabbit hole and eat like whole foods and shit and like eliminate the Taco Bell from your diet or whatever. Just
Hmm.
you don't have to embrace all this other bullshit.
Right. It's so weird.
And yeah, the ice raids are horrific. And
Yes.
yeah, the stories of like women dying because they are having a natural miscarriage and they can't get medical care, and like that horrible story of the woman who was a vegetable and forced to gestate a
Yes.
child, like that's obviously some Mengele shit. So why would you be for that?
Hmm. Agreed. The pandemic for many women at the conference had been a moment of rupture, of questioning pre existing beliefs. They were stuck at home, isolated, uncertain about their futures, and in some cases distressed about the lockdowns and protests in their communities. They began to seek out new political perspectives. Vina Pham, 23, who lives in Baton Rouge, is one of the young women who had a mid pandemic political shift. Miss Pham got the COVID vaccine on her campus, but was skeptical of the push to get boosters, asking, do we really need this? She had offered to pay for someone she knew to have an abortion, and when that person decided instead to have the baby, Miss Pham slowly changed her position, now opposing abortion in many cases. She said she was also moved by the Baby Olivia video made by an anti abortion group, which some states are trying to make required school viewing. What's
Oh
the Baby
boy,
Olivia video?
Mhm.
a
Don't know.
propaganda piece.
Well, yeah. Provides a medically accurate animated glimpse of human life from the moment of fertilization. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Um, I'm a secret conservative, Miss Pham said, though she consented to sharing her views in the Times, feeling it was time to be more outspoken. No one is gonna care. Like,
Mhm.
my friends are like, why are you in Dallas? I'm like, I'm at a women's conference.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Culture apothecary. Oh my god. That's Kate Salerno, an attendee. So, milling around the conference crowds, she met other young women who had been encouraged by conservative influencers to remake their lives. Take Kate Salerno, that's her,
Mhm.
who lives in Denton, Texas, and she learned and said she learned about the conference through Miss Clark. Miss Salerno began watching video clips from Miss Clark on Instagram during the pandemic. She declared to her husband that she was getting rid of their seed oils and food dyes.
I
She
just
ransacked the cabinets and tossed out Cheez Its and candy. She decided not to get the COVID vaccine.
but all that stuff is fine. Like, ugh,
Yeah, everything in moderation, right? Like,
sure.
relax. Relax. All these doors opened when I found out about the food, she said. It only takes one voice to start going down a rabbit hole.
No, you don't have to go all the way down the rabbit hole, even if you hate the food system in this country, Ms. Salerno.
Yeah,
I
Ugh.
like
promise you.
like my mom went on a food health kick too, starting during the plague. Now she's growing a lot of her own vegetables just in our living room with some, I don't know, fancy device. But she's not like, okay, women, quit your jobs and have babies.
Yeah,
Right.
be owned by a man. That's what you should do.
Yeah.
Like, what? So, because I don't want to eat seed oils anymore, like, you know,
Yeah.
And this
Oops.
kind of makes
it's
me
just,
think of, I always forget her name. That one, I think you guys talked about on one of your streams. There's this YouTuber. She used to be with the Daily Wire, but then they let her go when they had, I don't know, a difference of opinion about,
Oh, I
I don't
think
know.
we talked about the womanosphere. It was
the
probably
Yeah,
in that one, I'm
woman.
assuming.
Brett Cooper, that's her name. Okay, so yeah, she used to be in the Daily Wire, got fired, along with Candace Owens, who had gotten fired earlier, like maybe a year before that.
Hmm.
And now I'm gonna guess she's 25. She got married. She's pregnant currently, and she has started a farm with her husband. So I'm thinking, well, back when she was with the Daily Wire, I thought, oh, I bet the second she doesn't agree with the guys there, she's gonna get booted out. That
Hmm.
happened. And
Yep.
now I'm like, wow, she's used to being this YouTube star, and now she's getting her little house on the prairie dreams. How long will it be until this falls apart? And how
Mm-hmm.
public will that be? Who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Politicizing gardening. Seriously. Those comments are very interesting and very true.
Yeah. So we can look at some. Annie wrote, "It can't just be about food dyes. You cannot truly believe in making America healthy again if you are against vaccines, environmentalism, women's health care, labor protections, public schools, transportation, etc. MAGA and conservatism is antithetical to true MAHA."
Hmm. Yeah. And Emma makes a really good point that a lot of this stuff used to be associated with the left.
Yes. Many
Yeah.
of the values that the MAHA movement is now championing were not so long ago associated with the left. It is quite a recent development that America's right wing politicians have taken up these crunchy ideals. Yes, that's true.
Hmm.
The vast majority of these women won't have a choice to stay at home with kids. Only a few professions pay enough to keep the lights on and the pantry full, let alone pay for after school activities, college, or the gaggle of animals one of these attendees envisions.
Hmm.
You need a second income. Would be great if one income could cover the expenses of raising a family today, and that should be a goal, in my opinion, because then women really do have a choice. And so do the men who might want to be ones to stay home.
Yeah, that was my point earlier. Like, it's just not pragmatic in this stage of capitalism.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you're already wealthy. Like you said, the pyramid scheme, the ones at the top, they've already amassed the wealth. They already have the income streams coming in. They have the generational wealth to do this.
Yeah.
It's that's like the normies in like the red states that are gonna swallow this crap and
Yep.
live paycheck to paycheck or in poverty. And then of course all the social programs are going to be slashed. So they're not going to have any SNAP, they're not going to have any Section 8
Mm-hmm.
or any help at all. So like what? You're just going to create like an underclass of extremely poor struggling people?
Seems that way.
Is it because you want more church attendees and you think that the poorer they are, the more they'll join your church? I don't know.
Yeah.
Mm.
This is good. This quote right here says it all. It only takes one voice to start going down a rabbit hole. I absolutely agree that these young women are clearly lost, but sadly, they are not getting balanced, practical advice. Would love to see a follow up in 5 to 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. Uh, reader picks. So Sharon writes, I'm a mother of five now adult children. I was fortunate to not have to work until our youngest entered fifth grade since my husband worked hard and was able to provide for our children if we were frugal. I was also lucky to be able to supplement our income with a handcrafted gift business I ran out of our home. Still, it was a struggle the laundry, the cooking, the cleaning, the homework, the doctor's visits, dentists, various after school activities which our children would not have been able to participate in if I had worked outside the home. Today, it's very difficult to afford a family on a single income, even if one rents over owning a home. Childbirth, including pregnancy, labor, and delivery, is not fun and for many can even be life threatening, not to mention the long term issues many women suffer, which can include type 2 diabetes, heart issues, back problems, and bladder issues. Children also cause a lot of heartache as they navigate the world. Ours were bullied, some struggled in school, others got into trouble running with the wrong crowd, and this was before internet, bullying, TikTok, and other social media. It's far worse today. This all takes a toll on a marriage as well. It's not a fairy tale with a happy ever after ending, especially if you're not among the wealthy influencers like
Mm-hmm.
Charlie Kirk. He's selling a fantasy that most of these young women will never realize. Their naivety is astounding.
Thank you, Sharon, for some pragmatism in this
Go on,
conversation.
Sharon.
Yeah.
From
From Worcester.
Massachusetts,
She's near, like, she's like an hour away from me.
down the
Yeah.
road.
Yeah.
Anonymous said, just wait until they find out that after babies, their bodies aren't the same and they're over 40 with no skills outside the home and they don't have a history of income outside the home. So, no retirement as they have no social security because the USA doesn't recognize work inside the home as valuable. And their husbands have control of the income and property and leave them for younger women. Just wait until their kids are grown, husbands are gone, no income, no assets, no marketable skills, no retirement. Just wait. They will find out the hard way why feminist movement happened. Just
Yeah.
wait.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it
Go off,
it what
Anon.
what makes this even more the flabbergasting is we've been here before. We know
Yeah.
what this looks like. In fact, it hasn't been very long since it stopped looking exactly like that for the majority of women.
Mm-hmm.
So, and like I said, even when I was in college and all that cultural stuff was going on, I knew there would be, the pendulum effect, but I didn't think it would be this severe so
Hmm.
quickly through seemingly all levels of society, from politics through pop culture and social media and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's wild. Oh, also, I agree with what Latke said, how the left totally abandoned any critique of big pharma. It's sadly become the domain of the right wing now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The left used to be totally like
Mm-hmm.
the
Yeah.
critics of big pharma and
Yeah. Not anymore.
no.
But again, it doesn't mean you have to throw the whole baby out with the bathwater. You don't have to go down the MAGA rabbit hole. You can
Yeah.
still critique big pharma and eat your grass-fed beef, and you don't have to hand your humanity over, hand it up to a man. You don't have to do it.
Yeah. Oh, ballistic. The TradWife to single mom pipeline.
Yeah, I
Oof.
think
Mhm.
that's what some of the compilations were called on YouTube.
Yeah. I'll have to look.
I'm almost positive because that sounds very familiar.
Yeah. Uh, Karen writes, good for them if they want to be a stay at home mom. My own mother was, and I have no problem with that choice. But the Maha movement is blind to the fact that there are millions of women who don't have well paying professional careers who are working in semi skilled or low skilled jobs. It's just an economic fact that often both parents have to work given today's cost of living, especially in housing. Or you have to go to work because the guy you thought was your dream man abandons you and your three kids. Things
Hmm.
are not so neat and tidy in this country, and that every woman can be a homemaker. It's also sad they make the broad assumption that career women are stressed and depressed. I know many of working women who love their work.
Yeah,
Me. And
Hmm.
right,
also, like, if all women should just be stay at home moms, like, are men going to be working in elderly care homes? Are men going to be nursing
right,
the sick in hospitals? Like, are
hmm,
men going to be teachers? Like,
right. Yeah,
Probably not. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, of course there are male caregivers and stuff, but like,
It's vastly female dominated.
yeah, like
Yeah.
be so for real right now.
I think a lot of the lower paying service work jobs are female dominated,
Yes. Yeah,
unless the men
extremely.
are very young, like teenagers or college age, you know?
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, so we know what happens when women don't have the ability to make money. They get stuck in abusive marriages they cannot exit. But ultimately, it's hard to get over the fact that these women are screaming for the downfall of feminism at a conference they wouldn't be allowed to visit if it wasn't for feminism.
Yes.
Yep. Yep. Yeah.
Oy, crazy. Ooh, let's get one thing straight. Supporting mothers and families was always the goal of the women's movement. It's not feminists' fault that women are trapped in an economy that demands two salaries yet punishes us no matter what we do. The right wing for generations has tightened the noose on our choices, pushing stay at home mom parenting, which is impossible for the non rich. In the wealthiest country in the world, we could support caregivers but choose not to. So, feminism is about equality and choice. Mm,
Choice feminist alert.
yeah,
Yeah, it's better than being frickin' MAGA. But anyway.
Yeah.
yeah. Um, their forebears, like Phyllis Schlafly, a careerist if there ever was one, sabotaged our choices while hypocritically pushing a TradWife mirage. We almost had federal childcare support until Nixon vetoed it. God bless the child that's God his own. Why yoke yourself to a husband's fortunes? Our society has high levels of domestic abuse and gun violence, with homicide and suicide leading causes of death for mothers. Don't
Hmm.
think you'll escape poverty when your man is gone unless he's a CEO and doesn't dump you.
Right.
Yeah. As a mother and a gig worker dependent upon my husband's benefits, I'm lucky to balance work from home with caregiving. I haven't slept a full night or had a true vacation in 13 years. With policies to make caregiving affordable, our family life would be easier in countless ways. Don't blame feminists. We'll keep fighting for all of us to have more choices while the right wing continues to box us in.
Yep.
Good
Yep.
comment. Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Crazy.
somebody like in the trenches of just
Hmm.
low wage, you know, or mid to low wage, like the struggle. It's the normal people of the country that they can't realize this pipe dream even if they wanted to.
Yeah. Yep. Ice Goddess says, I don't think I've ever seen a stay at home dad ever on the same level as a stay at home mom. Only stay at home dad was in a friggin' anime or stay at home husband. Yeah, I have known a couple stay at home dads in throughout the years, but I would agree they're never on the same level. Like they might be literally at home with the children, but they're not doing all of the things that a stay at home mother would be.
Yeah. I had my son's dad was for a bit when he was a baby. I
Mm,
actually went back to work, and he was pretty good. I didn't have to like do anything when I got home from work, but that's rare. It's so rare. And it was only for some months. It wasn't permanent because when the baby's very small, you know, he's too young for daycare
mm-hmm.
yet, and you know the cost is so astronomical before they're potty trained anyway. Like once they're potty trained, the cost goes way down.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not something the vast majority of men in America do. I mean, how many we all see Reddit and all the drama posts on there. How many posts have we seen from like lazy bum fathers who don't do shit?
So many.
So many. Or they both work, like both parents work, but she's
Mm-hmm.
still expected to do the lion's share of everything. Like that's the norm. Like a stay-at-home dad, even a temporary one, is not the norm.
Yeah. This is a good comment from Jess. There's an issue in Australia, and I'm sure other places too, of women in their 60s plus who are now divorced and can't find housing because throughout their marriage they never had their own income.
Yeah, that I can see that happening here too, especially here.
Yep.
And is Social Security even going to be around when I'm of age to claim it?
Right.
That's not that far away. It's like 20 some odd years for me.
Yep.
So, yeah, you know. And then, of course,
Scary.
Social Security is what you put in via your job, too. So,
Yeah, that's actually scary to think about. Like, if you're not contributing to Social Security because you don't have a job, like,
you just don't get
you
it.
could, yeah, you just don't get it. And then if your husband leaves you, like,
Yeah.
you're penniless. That's really scary to think about.
I, I, I think there might be, if you've been married a certain number of years, you'll get a portion of his
Right.
regardless.
Yeah.
But it's still poverty wages. Like, come on.
Mm-hmm. That's craziness.
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine. Like I'm a single person, so like obviously I have to have a job to support myself, but I really couldn't imagine like not having a job. It's crazy to me.
Yeah. Yeah. Lamb. That's actually, I wish that too, that women should give fathers full custody more often. Why are we the default parent anyway? That's what I did when I got divorced and my son was young. I was the weekend parent and he was
Ah.
the custodial parent.
Have you seen that iconic Reddit post about the deadbeat mom?
Yes. Yes. It's one of my favorites.
We should read it. Let's.
Yeah. She wasn't a
Yeah,
deadbeat at
I'm not
all.
familiar with it.
Do you know this post, Expired Milk?
I do not.
Okay. Let me figure my life out here.
But it's definitely like, I think that's definitely a good thing to do. Like, give him the week custody, like, be the weekend parent. But I'll tell you, if you do that, you get a lot of pushback from people. People gave me pushback. They're like, "What kind of mother is only a weekend mother?" I'm like, if it was reversed, nobody would say anything about it.
Yeah.
Okay, I freaking shared the screen. Why is it not?
It's just us.
I know. Okay. This iconic Reddit post from Legal Advice subreddit. So the OP. Oh, why can't? Okay. OP title. I got a girl pregnant and she wanted to get an abortion, but I didn't want that. She ended up not getting one, but now she's not involved at all.
Well,
So he writes, we weren't in a serious relationship when she got pregnant. She has never met our son. Even after the birth, she had no desire to see him. We went to court to figure custody and support could be figured out, and I have 100% full legal and physical custody. Her name is on the birth certificate, but she has no custody and no right to visitation or to make things like medical or education decisions. She didn't want any of that. Every month, she pays 125% of the court
Mhm.
ordered child support. She says that if I ever marry someone who wants to adopt him, she will agree, but until then, she'll pay support. It's been this way since our son was born. I'm raising our son, that's your son,
Mhm.
all on my own. He is 18 months old now, and he has never met her, and I don't even have any photos of her. I am burned out and hate being a single parent. I love my son, but I resent him. My family tries to help when they can, but I do it most of the time. I would never hurt or neglect him, but I am exhausted all the time. I tried to go to court to give her split custody, but because she wanted an abortion and I didn't, and she made it clear she would never be involved after the birth, and because we went to court when he was 6 months old, but because we already went after he was born and agreed on things, and now she pays more support than is court ordered, the judge said he can't force her to look after him.
Good.
I haven't seen her in almost a year, and the last I heard, she has a tummy tuck and laser stretch mark treatments and is working at a gym. She also told her friends and family she's an egg donor and not a mother. She's a deadbeat mom, and the court won't do anything and is forcing me to struggle as a single parent. Do I have any legal remedies here?
Unreal. That is the reality. 95% of single moms, and they don't even get child support. So please.
Right. She pays 125% of
Yeah.
what they required of her. She pays
Mhm.
more than is required.
Yeah, they don't want kids. Like I saw on the internet recently, men want kids like kids want puppies.
Mm.
Mm.
And yeah, in
I've
that
I've
they
seen
like the idea of it, but they don't actually take care of the kids.
Yeah.
I've seen also a lot on the internet lately about how men want a wife and kids, but they don't want to be a husband and father.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, it's like it's for the status or it's weird.
yeah.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah.
Literally.
For a deadbeat, she's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you either pay, quote unquote, with custodial parenting or you pay with child support. That's what you
Yep.
do. Mm. Yeah. 8 years
Crazy.
ago.
Yeah, 8 years ago, this
This
post.
kid will be like 9 years old by now.
Yeah, but some of the comments are so good. Um, like I'd say she's a good mom. She was clear what her terms were for having the child that she didn't want. You agreed to those terms. She's paying child support, and by what you're saying, she's paying more than she has to.
Hmm.
Out of the two of you, she is the one who had the kid's best interest at heart. Yeah.
Yeah.
So let me get this straight. You resent the child you forced someone else to bring into the world under the condition that you would be the sole caregiver? You want to force someone who does not want anything to do with this child to share caretaking?
Yeah.
Yeah. Any legal remedies for what? She's not a deadbeat. Deadbeats don't pay 125% of child support. And the OP said she is a deadbeat. She doesn't have anything to do with him and has left me to do everything as a single parent. I want to
Oh.
know if I have any legal options to help make her parent the child she helped create.
Look at that negative karma.
I know. So many negative. Let's downvote it. Oh, and not.
It's archived. Yeah, it's too old.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. Oh my god. This is so good. Yeah, he just got
Yeah.
roasted in the comments completely. She's complied with the court ordered monetary support requirements, exceeded them, in fact. That's all she's required to do ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, so on top of it, Jane started out with they weren't even that serious when this whole thing
No.
happened.
Yeah. Oh, you
No.
got go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure I saw somebody react to this on YouTube at one point. I can't remember who it was, but they made the point that this is proof that a lot of guys just want to use pregnancy and babies to control a woman.
Yep.
Because
They don't want the products of that pregnancy though.
right, and like Expire just pointed out, they weren't in a serious relationships, but he thought he could lock her down and like keep her like basically under his thumb by taking care of his kid.
Yep.
Hey, look, they just said that. Oh shit.
Mhm.
Reproductive coercion. You're an abuser who tried to assert control over this woman by forcing her to carry and birth your child. Of course, you didn't expect it to go like this. You expected her to submit to you and your child, despite her telling you repeatedly that this would not be the case. I put those parts in bold in case you missed them the first time, and now you're apparently surprised she followed through. You have no further rights to control her life. Yep.
Yep. I like this comment. You got exactly what you bargained for, so now it's time to man up and be a father. And the OP wrote, I never thought she could turn her back on her own child. I honestly thought
What?
she would bond during the pregnancy and would eventually change her mind. Even if she turned down my offer to be in a relationship, I never thought she would actually abandon him. She was so drugged up during the birth that I don't think she even knows if he was born before or after midnight.
Wow.
Yeah. You're
Oh,
delusional fuck. She could have just aborted it. She didn't want the baby.
Yeah. Yep.
Yep. Crazy.
And she went through like another comment that you scrolled by, but somebody mentioned she went through the agony of pregnancy.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like she did that. Like she already sacrificed a ton.
Mm-hmm. He writes, I want the courts to give her visitation or custody so that I can have a break and she can actually parent her child.
No,
She it's not her child.
Mhm.
not legally.
No.
No.
Yeah.
She
Also,
signed over 100% custody.
in his OP, he says he has his family that helps him out. So this
Yep.
is also
Mhm.
proof he just wants to control her. He wants to dictate over
Mhm.
her life with this child.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because why not call up grandma? You said you had grandma around. You can have a break. Go call up the aunties and uncles.
Yeah,
They'll
or
come.
hire a babysitter.
Or hire. Yeah, if you got the money, hire.
Yep. Ooh, me too, Gabrielle. I hope this woman is living her best life.
Me too. But I hope the kid's doing all right.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
He's like 9 now, so
Mhm.
yeah. I mean, how many times are women forced to parent children and everybody tells them it's just consequences for not keeping your legs closed. Brr.
Mhm.
And the father's nowhere to be seen.
Yep. Yep. Crazy.
But because she went against the societal script of what women and mothers are supposed to do,
Mhm.
I mean, she probably got a lot of shit for that in her personal life. I can imagine because I got shit just being a weekend mom.
Mm.
Can you imagine? A lot of people
No.
would be just like him and be like, "Well, how could a mother do that?" Oh,
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, because so
That's
many
so
think,
fucked
oh
up.
yeah, as soon as the baby comes, everything's gonna change, and she's just gonna become, I don't know, this idea of what we think all women should be like. But no, she knew what she
Yeah.
right.
wanted, and
Yeah.
she's gonna do exactly that.
All right.
Yeah. So fucked up. So fucked up. That's like I have a situation in my life where somebody I know was in a relationship with a guy for like a year and a bit. Like they were a couple. They were together, you know.
Yeah.
And she got pregnant and he was like, "Well, like whatever you choose, I'll support you. Like it's your choice. I'll be there for you no matter what, whatever." And then she said, "Okay, well then I'm going to have the baby." And he was like, "Bye."
Yeah.
Oh,
And yeah, because he figured that she would have an abortion, but because he said he'll be there, he'll support her choice, he'll support her. She was like, "Okay, sounds good. I'll have this baby." And then he was like, bye." And um pieced out and the kid is now going to be 6 right away. He has never met or seen her. He pays child support though, so that's all that's required of him, but it's just so fucked up.
yeah.
Yeah. But nobody gives men shit for that sort of thing.
No, not at all.
It's so normal.
Yep. Yep. Actually, it was kind of funny too because he is significantly successful in his field and quite wealthy. And so based on his income is the judge determines child care or child support, and they have to go every year for a review on child support, and he actually got a lower paying job to try to pay
Yeah.
less money.
They do
And
that.
yeah,
Really?
yes, but the judge said absolutely fuck no, I'm not lowering your child support payments because you have demonstrated in the past that you have the potential to be earning X amount of money and
Hmm.
you chose to leave your high paying job.
Right.
So, no, you're
That's
staying at paying.
wild.
I know they ordered him
Yeah.
to stay paying what he was paying because he had the potential and he chose to leave that potential. So, no, fuck you. You're going to keep paying what I ordered you to pay.
Yeah. A lot of deadbeat dads try that
Mhm.
kind of thing, or they quit.
Mhm.
They quit their actual job and they just take like an under the table gig.
Yep.
So they're making as much money, but it's not on the books.
Yep. I don't know about there, and I don't even know about the rest of Canada, but in Alberta, if a man defaults on his child support, he has his driver's license taken away until he pays everything
Huh.
that's owed.
That's
Um,
yeah.
yep. So, I mean, and then of course they can just not have a driver's license and still rack up all the money they owe, but they cannot get their driver's license reinstated until they back pay everything that's owed.
Yeah. They don't do the driver's license thing here, but Ballistic just said in Brazil the government takes it out
Yeah.
of your paycheck. We do garnish. Like I used to work HR.
Yeah.
And but it's not every one. I think it's only if it gets court ordered to be garnished because you've been a deadbeat. So,
Yeah.
but again, that's when they start like quitting their jobs and taking under the table gigs and stuff.
So fucked up.
Yeah.
Oh my god, stop, vodka, really? Remember when A-list actor Jeremy Renner used the pandemic to try and lower his child support payments?
Yeah.
What? I never heard of
Fucking
that.
millionaires still being cheap as fuck.
Oh my god.
Dang.
Take care of your fucking kids.
Yeah,
Ugh.
I'm just baffled how I guess this is a common thing. Like dudes really reformatting their life so they won't have to help a woman as much.
Right. And
Like you
also,
can just yeah.
it's not even about helping the woman. Like, that's a human child who has
Yeah.
needs that need to
No,
be met. And if you're not going to meet those needs with your emotional availability and time availability, then you got to fucking pony up the cash.
but these guys
I
attach
know.
the child to the woman. So whatever they feel about the woman is how they feel. Like, so if they hate their ex, they hate their kid and they don't want to give
Yeah.
her, quote unquote, give her any money.
Yeah.
It's so fucked
Be-
up.
they don't separate the two. That's
I
the
know.
problem.
Yeah, like that's a human child who needs like clothes and food and extracurriculars and,
Yeah.
it's not money for her.
Even my dad, who was not a deadbeat, but he was an asshole in many ways, he would refer to it as giving her child support, my mother.
Yeah.
Like it was never for us. It was like, oh, I have to give mom like her name. Oh, I have to
Yeah.
give her money, every month. Like, yeah. But that's
So,
how they see it. They see it as intrinsically attached to the woman and not
mhm.
the child.
Yeah. Jennifer, great comment. The guys see it as some weird competition to be won against the woman, while the mom just wants to care for their child or children.
Yeah, and they say stupid things like, "I'm not going to pay for her to get her nails done and go shopping,"
Ugh.
as if like most struggling single moms who probably work themselves are worried about that crap and not about having groceries and paying their rent. Like, come on.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And so the first of my friends is due to have a baby in about 6 weeks now. I'm like so concerned about it.
Ugh.
No, that's so close.
It is.
I don't know
Oh,
anyone who's gonna have a baby anytime soon.
Yeah, me either. I
Only
think
one of
I'm,
my friends has a kid.
oh, yeah. I think most of the people I know and like my family are like beyond the age. Anyone who
mm,
has kids already had them years ago and they're older now and don't really have any very young friends who are just starting. Like, yeah,
Hmm. Yeah.
yeah.
yeah, I don't even know how many of my friends are planning to have kids because they all kind of suddenly got married all around the same time. I mentioned this before. At 29, everyone just dropped what they were doing and said, "I need to marry someone," and then they were married. But yeah, no one has ever spoken about kids. Even the one who's about to have a kid never spoke about kids. When I asked
It's
her
just
how,
like happening.
yeah, and when she was like, "I'm pregnant," I was like, "Oh, is that the plan?"
Like, I'm so sorry. Or congratulations.
Yeah, and she's like, "I wasn't on the plan, but I guess I'm gonna have a baby." I'm like, "You guess you're gonna?"
Mm,
Guessing should not be the
Yeah.
path you take when it comes to having a child.
no, she's probably going to be in for a rude awakening. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
it's like you sounded more excited talking about the Avengers than you do talking about this human you're cooking up.
Yeah, that's crazy to me how like cavalier so many people are about having a child. It's just like, well, that's just what you do. That's just like, mm,
Yeah, that's wild.
it really is.
Okay.
It really is crazy to me. Whoops. Crazy to me.
Yeah, or like Drew said about men who don't want kids, just don't let your sperm meet the egg, or get a vasectomy.
I know a vasectomy is so easy and reversible.
Yeah, but if you're a guy and you're absolutely sure you never ever want to father children, just get the fucking vasectomy.
But they treat it as like it's crushing their manhood to have a
That's so
vasectomy. Their
stupid.
and their masculinity and manhood is totally destroyed if they have a vasectomy.
Yeah, and isn't that also why, like, I guess male birth control never made it very far? Because it's like, oh well, it came with one half of a side effect,
Yeah,
so
exactly.
none of
Yeah,
the men will take it.
Yep.
yeah. Well, I have personal experience with the vasectomy, and that's some. There's some wild ideas going around. Like, there's some people online that actually, I don't know if they're just shit posting or what, but they're like, do they? Is it like neutering a dog? Like what? What? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I've heard that, and again, it's online. They could just be trolling. I don't know if people are really that stupid, but they do
Yeah.
not remove the balls. They do not.
No. But they also treat it like this is a little bit vulgar, but because when you have a vasectomy, the sperm no longer makes it to the seminal fluid. Like they say that that is like destroying their manhood, and without the the volume of ejaculate, they're no longer men.
Um, Not to also be vulgar, but I have personal experience with that, and
Yeah.
there's literally no difference.
Yeah, not according to these dudes.
They don't know. They haven't had one.
I know. No, I know.
It's their imagination. They're imagining like a little puff of dust, like just coming out.
Cobwebs.
That's not. That's not what happened.
That's good. Oh God. Oh my God. Oh yeah. Fax machine. Great point. Some men are so freaked out by neutering that they give their dogs ball implants.
Yeah,
What?
I've seen that.
Yes, that's a real thing. Ball
Oh my
implants for
god.
neutered dogs.
Yeah.
Wow. These dudes really gotta unpack whatever this is.
I know, it's so crazy.
Crazy.
Gabrielle,
The
great
dog doesn't
comment.
care either way.
No. I sometimes wonder if they like the power to be able to impregnate a woman.
Yes. Yeah, I think that's really what it boils down to be honest.
Yeah, they're the ones who will talk about baby trapping.
Mhm.
No, men baby trap women, not the other way around.
Yeah.
What woman would choose I'm not going to say none ever because the human race is big and varied, but like women are the ones that are going to get stuck with it. So like you're just trapping yourself, really.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yep. Ridiculous.
Oh, ballistic, no. He's searching for his balls. I just said that they don't care, but you just proved me wrong. Some care, apparently. Poor puppy.
Oh, salad Caesar. No.
Yeah, I've heard of that too. But
No, no.
I think for a lot of men, especially like the OP of that post we read about the deadbeat mom,
Uh-huh.
it's not so much a breeding kink, well, probably for some of them, but it's more the ability that they have, like it's a weapon to control women,
Mhm.
like they always have it in their arsenal. Like
Mhm.
they could always do it, and I think they don't like the idea that they can't anymore.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah. I think I've heard not let me try that again. Jesus. In regards to impregnating a woman, but also some sex acts, like it's almost like some men like the idea of their penis being a weapon to hurt women, whether physically or emotionally. Like they
Yeah.
want to hurt a woman with their penis.
Oh yeah, that for
Ugh.
sure. But a vasectomy does not impede that at all.
No, no,
So
I know.
yeah,
Ugh. Gross. Gross.
yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, ball implants on dogs scream insecurity.
Yeah.
Or it's the same, or like the fucking truck nuts.
Truck nuts.
Those
Oh
What?
my
metal
god.
metal
Yeah.
ball sacks that men hang off the back of their trucks.
Oh, I've never seen that.
Really?
Really? Oh, I have.
Maybe I'll look more next time. Be like, what's going on
Kind
over
of
here?
kind of wish I
Yeah.
didn't know what they were.
Yeah, it's so embarrassing. Like it's so cringe.
Mm.
Um
Oh, it always makes my head hurt trying to figure out why men. What's happening?
Hey, there they are.
Uh,
The one of the oh my gosh.
like what is wrong with dudes? Why would you buy that?
Why? Yeah, why?
Imagine going to the store and making that purchase.
Imagine, okay, imagine a
And then
woman like pasting like a photorealistic vulva on the back of her Subaru.
right?
Like
Yeah.
just imagine a woman having like that's such a male thing to do, like to showcase genitals and stuff like that. Like I, I've never had the compulsion to do that.
No.
Yeah, I never understood it, and I always remember the first time it happened because as we went over before, I went to an all girls school, but then one day I go into the library and they have like those like I guess private desk cubicles like between the shelves, very nice.
Yeah.
I see that on my usual one, and all of a sudden there's penis graffiti all
Oh,
over it, and I was
Yeah,
like,
they draw them everywhere.
including a big one in the seat, of course. And I was like, what has happened here? And it's like, yeah, the guy snuck onto campus, drew dicks everywhere. I'm like, why? Why? What
Yeah.
was
that's the
just why?
question.
I've always said that whether gay or straight, it doesn't matter. Nobody is obsessed with penises more than men.
Absolutely.
And they project it onto women and they think women are obsessed with them, but we're not.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, my dick's gonna change a girl's life. It's like, yeah, it's not changing anyone's life, actually.
Maybe for the worse.
Yeah, it's for the worst. Neutral to negative impact.
Yes. It makes girls wish they couldn't perceive images.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, even once my friends, cross that threshold, I'll be like, "Oh, how was it?" They were like, "I don't get what the big deal is." I said, "Oh, okay. So, are you gonna break up?" It's like, "No, he's nice." Is it okay? Well, good luck with
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, so true, Ice Goddess.
Men
They
are
do.
homosexual.
They are, and they love it. They love it. They worship the phallus.
Ugh.
Ancient Greek schools, really? Oh wow.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's been everywhere for all of time.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
no,
why
not all of
it's
time, because the goddess used to be worshipped prior
yeah.
to patriarchy. Um,
Yeah.
book recommendation: When God Was a Woman by who? What is her name? It's like a wizardy type name. Merlin, something.
Literally a wizard's
Hi,
name. Okay.
Merlin.
Merlin Stone. When God Was a Woman by Merlin Stone. It's a very easy read, very good book, all about how ancient societies used to worship women. It's very, very good.
Drew A, of course Radical has the orange bat.
Stop.
Oh no! It's that time of the stream, everybody.
Can't go a single stream without mentioning it.
Unsolicited pick. Oh my god, do not.
Yes, has she?
Oh. Oh, hi Rachel.
And
God.
Drew, I have to say I have not, but that's only because I grew up before you could send digital images really. Like that wasn't a
Yeah.
part of my teenage years. Because I'm old, but all the younger ladies probably have a story for sure.
Mhm. Ay. My trauma.
Now it's now we laugh at it
It's part
apparently.
of the RR lore. Yes, Ice Goddess, Who Cooked the Last Summer Supper is also
Mm,
my early my easy entry rec for feminist lit by
yeah.
Rosalind Miles.
Mhm.
Also very good. I'm sure if you just Google like the title PDF, you'll find one.
Yeah. What I need
Yeah.
to do is finally order those Dorkin books that got republished with the
Oh
new cover.
yeah, I ordered all three.
Mm.
Yes, so good. So good. And I read Woman Hating. I still need to read the other ones. Oh, maybe I'll do that on my trip to Calgary
Yeah.
on Thursday.
Yeah.
I'm going to Calgary on Thursday to go to the Calgary Stampede. Yeehaw.
I'm so
Um,
jealous.
yep. I'm doing so much gay shit actually, really. Because the first night, Thursday night, I'm going to stay with a friend and visit her. We've been friends since high school. And then that's Thursday to Friday. Then on Friday, I'm going to stay with my gay aunt and visit her for a while. And then on Saturday, we're going to a women's soccer game. Fuck yeah.
Nice.
And then I'm going to the Calgary Stampede on Sunday to do some giddy upping and eating good food. And yeah, gonna yeehaw it up. And then I'm gonna come home. It's gonna be really fun.
Nice.
Hmm.
Sounds
Really
like a good
excited.
time.
Yeah, it should be good. I have like no real plans for the most of the daytime stuff, but I'm just gonna hang out with some people I love, and that's enough for me.
Good time, good time.
Yeah. What? How was y'all's 4th of July? America.
Fuck
Well,
yeah.
I didn't get hit by any stray projectiles, so that's
Very good.
nice.
Oh, it's a win.
Yeah.
That's good.
Was working down on the National Mall, so there's a lot of MAGA going on, but you know,
Ew. Did anybody blow their hands off with an M80 or whatever they're called?
not on the National Mall at least, but I was like walking to where my stage was gonna be as like a big MAGA merch family came out of the metro. And the mom, she points to the Capitol building. And for anyone who's unfamiliar, Washington, D.C., National Mall on one end, like you can't miss it. Giant Capitol building. It's there on purpose. She says, or someone else in the name is like, oh, is that the Capitol? She says, no, no, that's the church. And then they're like, well, where's the Capitol? And then she's like, oh, it's probably somewhere behind those buildings. I'm like, I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to let him go.
Mm.
I know somebody who blew his hand off with a firework on Canada Day once.
No,
Oh
no
no.
way.
Was
Yep.
it Orange Back Guy?
No. No, he's a Mormon guy.
Jeez.
Oh, there were Mormons on the National Mall too. I was like, what? Where did all these Mormons come from?
They're everywhere.
They are everywhere. They're even up
Yeah, well,
here.
yeah, someone was like, "Can I talk to you?" And I said no, and I kept walking.
No. Yep. Yep.
Good times. Any plans for this weekend?
Just local stuff since I'm in my local era here. I actually have to do a
Yeah.
job tomorrow. Should be, you know, interesting. But
Good.
yeah,
I thought you were off for 3 weeks.
I am off for 3 weeks. In that I'm in my hometown for 3 weeks, but I have,
Whoa.
yeah, I have a lot of local gigs. Like I work at a
Oh,
lot of venues around town. So I work
well,
at,
that's good.
you know,
Keep
I do
busy.
yeah, do some sports, do some theater, do some oons oons club stuff. All that. Yes.
I'm gonna do some on Sunday at the Stampede.
Nice.
Woohoo.
Yeah, it's a country and western like rodeo fest, but also every single night they have multiple stages and tents around the grounds. And there's country music and hip hop and punk rock and like a little bit of everything for everyone and anyone. And it's all free. Like you only pay admission to the festival grounds and it's like $19.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's like really
It's so
affordable.
cheap.
Yeah. So tonight, actually, I'm really sad I'm not there tonight because Fall Out Boy are playing and I love them.
Oh no,
Yeah.
missing them.
Mm-hmm. And Macklemore was last night. Um, yeah, and some big like country stars, of course. Shania Twain will be, I think, on the 10th.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like
Stampede got some money.
oh yeah, Stampede goes fucking hard. They call it the greatest outdoor show on earth.
On
Wow.
Earth. Wow.
Yes, it's a big deal. It's a really big deal. So
Um,
yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I've gone many times. Actually, it's kind of cute because I'm particularly going to see a pop punk band I have loved forever, called Simple Plan. They're a
Nice.
Canadian band, but
I
it's
did
really
not know
cute.
that.
Yeah, they're from Quebec, so they're French Canadian actually.
mm,
But so the first time I saw them live was at the Stampede for my 15th birthday. My dad drove me up after he was done work and we went to see Simple Plan at one of the outdoor stages for my 15th birthday. And
no.
now this weekend I'm going to see them at the Stampede again for my 37th birthday.
Ooh,
Wow.
dedication.
Yeah, so
On
22 years
part
later.
two. Not every band lasts that long, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they actually just released a documentary today about their career and their
Ooh.
history.
What? They have a rockumentary? That's awesome.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen them the most I've seen any band. I think I've seen them. Well, this weekend will be my 14th time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
Before I was a serious adult and I had no real responsibilities, the only like I did not buy anything. I only spent my money on live music experiences.
Yeah.
Um, so I have seen literally hundreds of bands live. Um,
Yes.
and many of them more than one time because I'm passionate.
Yep.
Meanwhile, now that I'm in my 30s, I was like, my mom even made fun of me. She's like, "You never do anything fun." So when I was
Yeah.
contemplating going to a concert for my 30th birthday, she was like, "You should go." I said, "You're telling me to go? Well, I guess I have to go."
Mm,
So yeah, I started that a couple years ago. So I saw my favorite K-pop group, and then
very
I saw
good.
Green Day, and then this summer, I'm seeing MCR and Linkin Park back to back. So
I have this is some RR lore for y'all. I have a My Chemical Romance tattoo.
ah,
My
That
first
doesn't
ever
surprise me.
tattoo I got in
No.
2006 when I turned 18.
legendary 2006.
Yep.
Yes,
Oh,
Yeah, I
that's
knew
my
some kids in high school that they only spent their money on music.
yep.
That's it. Some kids they buy all the clothes or they buy nerd shit, and then others just like I'm going to a concert this weekend and then next
That was
weekend.
me.
Yep.
That was me. Yep. Good times. Ooh,
oh,
Lamb is
Lammy,
asking
like
what
yeah,
K-pop group you saw.
my favorite K-pop group is TVXQ. So I flew to Korea to see
Oh
their
shit.
yes to see their
Oh wow.
20th anniversary concert on New Year's Eve. And I thought,
Wow.
this is a crazy idea. I'm not gonna go because I'm a sensible person. But my mom was like, no, you should go because you
Yeah.
have money in your passport and you never do anything. I said, oh, well, if you
Yeah.
insist.
Good. Was it cool?
Damn.
Was it good?
Oh, it was great.
How was
And
Korea?
it was like going to a different planet. It was
Oh,
awesome.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I've heard
And
Korea's awesome.
yeah, and because I mostly for my like free time I always liked watching the historical K dramas. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna go to like in my mind there was one palace where they filmed all that at, but I quickly realized no, you can just walk any direction and you're running into a full blown palace. I said, wow, because I guess they built a new one for every important person or whatever. So I spent a long time walking around those things, and I never got to the museums that I wanted to get to because I was so busy with the palaces. So hopefully someday I can return and do the rest of it. Yeah.
That sounds awesome.
Very cool.
And it was
Yeah.
also nice to.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh yeah, sorry. It was also nice to because again I have been working in the concert industry for like so many years, and I pretty much stopped going to concerts when I started working in them. So, but when I saw that concert, I said, "Wow, there was a lot of cool stuff that happened on this stage. Like they've invented things that I didn't know existed, and it was really fun." I guess I just forgot what it was like to be an audience member, and I was like, "Oh, okay, I could get used to this. Well, let me do this more
Yeah,
often."
That's so
exactly.
cool. Why do K-pop bands all have like why are their names all so crazy? Does it
Yeah.
like do you
Because
know?
um, it- why not? I guess. Yeah, they're just. I feel like a lot in the past, like they were trying to be cool by making it like acronyms of random English. Like there was a group called UKISS back in the day that stood for Ubiquitous Korean International Superstars.
But like that's crazy.
Yeah, like, it makes sense. And like one of the first K-pop groups, HOT, stood for High Five of Teens.
Excuse me.
Yeah,
What?
yeah, I just think they thought it sounded cool. So here we are.
I mean, it's kind of like how you see in anime sometimes where they try to write or speak an English phrase and it doesn't make any sense,
Right,
but it
it's just
sounds
not quite right.
cool to
Uh,
them. Like they think it sounds
y-
cool.
yeah, and then like before Westerners started writing most K-pop songs, like the K-pop songs from, the 2000s and 2010s would just have like completely nonsense English in them, but it all sounded cool. And
Yeah.
it just became a thing.
It's like
Yeah,
part of the
but
charm though to have like
yeah.
bad English. Like there's some
Mhm.
back when I was more into anime, I used to listen to like Japanese music too, and it's the same thing. That have these random English phrases, and like that makes
Yeah.
no sense.
Mhm.
Yeah. And actually when I went to Korea, what I noticed is like I knew that like these like long black puffer jackets were popular there. What I didn't know is that I guess depending on the brand of puffer jacket, it would have just a word on the back. And
Oh
a
boy.
lot of the ones I saw, it would just be a random English word.
I love
What is
that.
going on here?
I'd get such a kick out of like walking the streets and just seeing all those.
Yeah. And it's like everyone had them. And I think one
So
just said sunny on it. I'm like, sunny? What? But
sunny, like sunny day, sunny.
yeah, like this is a winter coat. So.
So I know
That's
Ice Goddess asked before about people who are introverted and don't go to concerts, and I
oh.
don't go to concerts.
Ugh, I love a concert.
I know you guys probably won't relate, but I literally have zero interest. Like my gig would be like a folk festival at most in an
Mhm.
outdoor
Mhm.
area that's like in a small town, but big venues like I would go with you, but would it be my first choice of activity? Probably not, and I would probably need to like lock myself in a room for a few hours afterwards to recharge. So, yeah.
Yeah.
So you're not alone. Anyone out there who the idea of going to a huge multinational concert is a little overwhelming.
I
Well,
have
yeah.
not I've not gone to another country for a concert, but I
Mm,
have gone to multiple different provinces.
yeah.
Mm.
It's not like I would never go or refuse to go. It's just like I think I'd need a lot of prep time. Like,
Mhm. Yeah,
Aw.
actually, like, cause I went to school in New York, and a big motivator for going there was I knew that all the K-pop groups, whenever they come to the US, back then anyway, they would only go to LA and New York. So I was like, well, if I live in New York, I could technically go to concerts all the time. So when I was in college, I did see a lot of groups. I did see EXO, which mentioned in the chat. with the Naughty Gonna Party to the Sound. um, but yeah, after like the first couple of years of college, I just stopped going to concerts, and then now I'm trying to, maybe not all the time, but I'm trying to like check off the big ones. You know, Linkin Park is my favorite rock band. I didn't think they would exist anymore because the singer died a while back, but then all of a sudden, boom, they were back, and I said, "Oh, it's time! It's time, everybody!"
Yeah.
Good times.
Indeed. And I'm trying not to watch fan cams of the concerts I'm going to go to because I want to be surprised. I said I don't want to see anything.
No spoilers.
Yeah, no, no spoilers.
Can you spoil a concert? Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, like if you see the set list accidentally or like some
Oh, yeah.
cool
That's true.
production. No thanks. One time, my sister and I, because my sister equally loves Lady Gaga like I do. And one time we went to see her in Vancouver, and it was a 2 night show. Like she had 2 nights in a row, and we had tickets to the first night. And it was awesome, and we had so much fun. And then the next morning, we woke up and we're like, let's just look on resellers and see if anyone's selling tickets to tonight. And so we went for the second night too.
Nice.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, well, when I got the tickets to see TVXQ, they were doing 2 nights as well. So, was it New Year's Eve and New Year's Day? No, I think it was the 30th and the 31st. So when I said, "Hey, friend," who I was gonna meet up with because she lived in Taiwan and we were just gonna meet up in Korea, um, she was like, "Oh, you only got tickets to one night?" I said, "Well, yeah. Like, why would I get tickets to both?" And she's like, "Well, you're gonna want to." I said, "Well, don't other people need a turn?" And she's like, "Just get there, and you're gonna say you wish went to both nights." And I went there. I was like, "Dang it! I should have went to both nights."
Yeah.
Screw the other people. I deserve this. I've been waiting 15 years to see this group.
Hee.
Yeah. How much are LP tickets? I guess a whole range. I forget how much mine are. Maybe like, I don't know, 150, 200, something like that.
That's actually not bad at all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was nowhere near as bad as I thought it would be. Because even for MCR, like
Ugh.
we wanted to see them back when they first made their comeback, but like it was impossible to get
Oh
tickets.
yeah, impossible.
Yeah, but this time, yeah, it was around the same price and it was a pretty seamless process. I didn't have like Ticketmaster wasn't shutting down or anything.
For once.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
For once.
Yes. Someone earlier asked if we listened to Sleep Token. I have heard some Sleep Token. I know they're super popular right now, but
I have not listened to them. Who I've never even
I
heard
have
of them.
never heard of them.
yeah, they're like the new big thing on
Hmm.
Huh.
on the scene. They
I'm an old.
Yeah,
yeah,
same.
I actually only heard of them for the first time a few months ago. Everyone's like Sleep Token, Sleep Token. Sleep Token." I was like, okay, let me check them out. It's all right, they kind of have a, or at least the videos I saw, they had a bit of a Slipknot aesthetic about it.
Ah,
Not as crazy as Slipknot, but somewhere leading in that direction. And they just like spooky, whatever.
cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Mhm.
Oh shit! I was just trying to. Oh, for fuck's sake! I was. I was literally just buying my entry for the Calgary Stampede, and I clicked cancel instead of next.
No.
No!
Ugh,
Yeah.
why?
I'll just always
That's terrible.
remember showing up at my hotel in Calgary last month. And like I say, usually when I walk into hotels, it's like early in the morning, and I know I gotta butter up the front desk people. So I usually start with the howdy. But I open the doors to this Calgary hotel, and I get the huh, out, and then I just see cardboard cutouts of cowboys all over the lobby. I said, "How deep?" Oh, I can't. This is authentic. Okay. Hello.
Mm.
Good morning. I come in
Where did
peace.
you stay?
The Glenmore Inn.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was very cowboy themed.
How
And
many
then
cutouts were there?
like at least 5.
Can
And
you
then they
imagine like
had like
shuffling down for a continental breakfast and you get like jump scared by, oh God.
exactly. And then they had like a little a horse saddle with a sign next to it that says "Don't sit on this." I said, "Well, if you're gonna put a saddle out here, I'm gonna sit on it." You know, so that was great. And then this week, I learned a new skill. Um,
Mm.
I learned how to lasso a fake calf at
Oh
Very
a
good.
yeah.
at like a little cultural fair. So I was like, yo, at first I was like, hey, is that a real lasso? And the lady was like, yeah, it's a real lasso.
Is that a
I was
real
like,
lasso?
yeah, I mean, like, how many people just have a lasso?
But it's just rope tied in a certain way, isn't it?
Apparently, because for some reason, I don't know. I feel like in my mind, I was like combining lasso with like maybe some sort of whip situation. So I just
Oh
thought it would be like heavy and
no.
leathery, but no, it's very light, very loopy. And
Yeah,
yeah,
kind of like a rope tied in a loop.
yeah, but it's like it's still a special rope, but it has more tension than like a
Oh,
regular floppy rope, or else the circle wouldn't maintain, you know. So yeah,
yeah.
I yeah, and they have like a little fake baby cow, and I did manage to lasso it. Granted, I did have to get pretty close to be successful, but hey, you gotta start somewhere.
You gotta start somewhere.
And
I
who
think I'm
knows, maybe
about.
next year this time I'll be at Stampede. I'll be queen of the rodeo. Watch out.
Oh, you will. Yeah.
Mhm.
There is the rodeo queen competition.
What?
Yes, and
What?
rodeo
You need. Yeah.
princesses.
You need to
What?
enter this competition.
What do I need to do?
Mm, I mean, it's low key a beauty pageant,
Oh. Well,
Oh.
but you do have
I
to have horse skills.
okay, so what if, hear me out. I come in my best Star Wars cosplay and I do all that on a horse. That would be crazy. I would
Maybe.
win. I would win. And then I could end it by taking off my Star Wars helmet and have like my fake hair wig, and it'll just I can get the Beyonce fan, and it'll be like, oh my gosh, she's queen of the rodeo. I'll say, yes, I am.
I believe in you.
Hmm.
Everybody's dropping off to go to
Yes,
bed.
Oh,
me too, almost.
we have been chatting
Um,
for a while.
yeah, I I have yeah, I work tomorrow, and then I have to prepare for my trip after work. So yeah,
Yes. Mm.
okay,
Yeah.
well,
Next week, I will not be available because I'm on a business trip.
ooh, very fun. I also will
Ooh.
not be available next week. So, oh, that's a good segue. Streaming update, I guess. I just have like summertime, vacations, personal life stuff, nothing bad, but just stuff going on. So
Yeah.
we won't be streaming 1 or 2 times a week like we normally have. It's going to be like 2 or 3 times a month probably over the summer. FYI chat. Um so, yeah, that's just a little update, but things will resume to normal, when it's not summer and busyness and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, there definitely will not be a stream next week at all. Just FY everyone's eye. Yes, FEI.
FYEI.
F your for your everyone's information. Yes,
For FEI. That's right. Fee.
indeed.
Oh, shout out to Vaka for watching Andor season 2. I hope you enjoyed it, even though it was stressful.
Indeed.
Oh,
Yes.
yes. Um, yeah. Okay. Well, I think that's probably it for now. Um, So yeah, no stream next week. Stream maybe the week after. Actually, I think I have plans with Nina and Rusty for the week after. So we'll see you
Okay.
when we see you. Thanks for joining me, E squared.
E squared. That's good.
And everyone in the chat, thanks for being awesome. We were talking in our little Discord group chat the other day that like there would be no point without all of the wonderful women in the chat, and you make everything awesome, and we appreciate your commentary and contributions and insight. So thanks for being wonderful.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's like the bulk of the fun, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Well,
All right.
yeah, we'll see you when we see you. Have a great evening, afternoon, day, whatever it is, wherever you are. And we'll see you next time.
Stay cool.